Hey gang, for those of you who enjoy QF, a podcast about Howard Stern, and would like to donate to us just via PayPal, you can, using the email address johnnythegreek21@gmail.com. You can check the link in the description for the spelling, and it's also here on the graphic. And if you'd like to do more in terms of donations or subscriptions, you can use our Patreon account and subscribe via the Black Kluge level, and you can receive our weekly content that we're putting only on Patreon. It's exclusive for that platform. And anything over $5 is just gravy, guys. We love you. Thank you so much.
I can do that.
Raise your right hand and say, I swear on the Lord Jesus Christ I'm not fucking Robin.
Well, I swear in the Lord Jesus Christ I'm not fucking Robin.
Okay.
I really think that was a confession that she's fucking him.
How?
She mentioned the charity.
Well, hey, I start.
She mentioned that charity. She just wedged that in.
What? Hey, I'm starting a foundation. That means that she's screwing the guy.
No. This has been a long time coming.
Yeah, but she's mentioned him 100 times before, so why is this the announcement?
Because, okay, a charity, when you go into a charity with one person, that's almost like making a baby.
Robin, the 34, I think, should go up to 44 on the narcissistic chart, because I can't exactly remember what Howard said, and she goes, oh, thank God for people like that, and she was completely referring to herself.
John, hi. Big wrap-up show yesterday. I heard Robin on the wrap-up show with her. Guatemala, 15 Foundation. You know what? I'm resenting the 15 Foundation.
Why are you resenting it?
I don't know. It's too much 15 Foundation on the air. Everyone's afraid of you around here, from what I can tell. Because people are like, I go, so don't give any money. And they go, oh, no, I better give money.
The bigger issue here, even beyond today, is that Robin's charity's totally taken over the office. Whether it's on air, where she's slipping in charity stuff into the news, whether it's Sal and Richard, whether it's me looking up contacts, whether it's her assistant that's just dropped in the middle of the office when no one knows who she is, if she's in and out of Tim's office. It is, there's more charity work going on here now than radio work.
What's the big deal?
Well, the big deal took up an hour on the wrap-up show.
You know what? I said I didn't want to get into this conversation. Goodbye, Jason.
Well, Jason, I don't know what to say. I do. I think
I don't want to have this conversation.
She's upset. Okay. I want to talk to you about it.
You know what? I just have to respectfully quit this job.
Right.
Because I'm just a torturer to everyone here. I'm a miserable cunt who doesn't even say good morning, apparently. And what are we supposed to be talking about?
Listen, he wants more from you.
I'm done.
You're not done. You wouldn't leave.
Yeah, and then, we were having a great time. It was a good evening.
Yeah. And then something bad happened.
Information that really rocked me, and it just fucked my weekend.
I could guess what it is, but I'm not gonna. I think I probably figured it out.
Really? So, yeah.
Somebody betray you?
It felt like a betrayal. Yeah.
Hello, folks. We've got another 15 Foundation episode for you from QF, a podcast about Howard Stern. I'm your host, Fillmore, a.k.a. Jim Fix, and with me again is Sam. Welcome, Sam. Good morning.
Good morning. We're switching roles today. Today, I'm recording in the morning in my unicorn pajamas.
We got a lot of clips, guys. There's almost an hour of stuff, including some video here. So we're going to try to keep our comments to very minimum, a very bare minimum, and then let this do the work for us. So hang tight. First one. This is from May 25th, 2010. People getting coerced into doing Robin's charity.
Well, if I have time, Howard, I will get it today.
Get that new what do you got, a new assistant? I'm hearing reports about you.
No.
Holy cow, you got to hear this one.
No.
Let me digress for a minute.
What happened to Captain Dan? Go.
I don't know.
Captain Dan.
What happened to Captain Dan?
Names.
Is Captain Dan still your assistant?
Yes, Captain Dennis is still with me.
Well, all I know is people around here, I might as well tell you this.
What?
The people around here are terrified because Robin is yet another charity event she's organizing.
Let it play through.
Terrified of you. Terrified of you and your charity work. Because they know they're going to get, what is that called when they take you into the military? Not the draft, but conscripted, or, you know what I mean? They are terrified of you.
Geez, let me.
You're the terrorist.
He's their consideration.
Here's the report I get.
Obligated to do anything.
Yesterday, Robin just brings some woman up here with a British accent.
Okay, this is the funny part. He goes British accent, and the missus is from Eastern Europe, like Slovakia or something.
Oh my God. This is how insulated he is.
Well, this is, and this is, by the way, guys, after May 25th, May 26th, when Jason comes in, which is the follow-up, we're going to record that one with this episode, because this is episode 9, I think. And after this time, it's the summer. You never hear hide nor hair 15 Foundation on the show. So something definitely happened after the 26th that either Howard shut it down, or someone or Robin decided, well, fuck you, I'm not mentioning it on the air anymore.
I don't know. I don't know, because Howard's such a pussy that but I think the pressure of everybody, including him on the air, kind of spelled it out for her, where it would have been embarrassing to keep going on the way she was.
Yeah, and she was so pissy in that on the 26th, and you guys will hear for yourself and see, thankfully, because I found that video, which is going to be amazing.
Oh, a British accent.
She has some accent.
She's from Slovenia.
Well, whatever. She had some weird accent.
Well, I think she's from, so you don't even know where she's from.
Slovenia? What the hell? The UK?
Yeah. So, wherever Slovenia is, only Robin knows where that is.
Well, Slovenia.
Yeah, I was scared of Guatemala. Now Slovenia. I was raised in Slovenia. My father was Dracula.
Slovenia, Transylvania. What's the difference?
Romania. I mean, what is he doing?
It's such a fucking 79.
And even when he does the accent, it's terrible.
It's horrible, yeah.
I am the son of Dracula. So anyway, Robin shows up. Yeah, this woman is.
He's the son of Dracula, but he doesn't suck necks. He sucks other things.
Walking around, and Robin introduces her to no one.
What?
Listen to this report I got. This is a report.
Introduced her to everyone we saw.
I heard she went over where Jason and Will sit. She's sitting on the phone, making phone calls. Jason went back there. He goes, "Excuse me, who are you?" He's going to call security. He goes, "I'm with Robin."
That accent.
It's most likely not how she sounded. And I do think it's hilarious, though. I mean, imagine if you had to get work done that day and you have just some side project that has nothing to do with the show sitting on the phone in your work area.
Not only that, but think a year earlier or 2 years earlier, Dr. Ronnie comes in and no one knows who she is either. Robin just literally brings these people into a place where, from what we understand, Bon Jovi had trouble getting in there one time. So, but these people can manage to get in somehow through Robin.
And then, they all work in such close, tight quarters because, God forbid, they built an inch of space for these people to work. It looks like, a call center in Taiwan. But then all of a sudden you're going to have this Slavic assistant working on some crap charity on top of it.
I was surprised when we saw that video, that image of Richard and Sal's office, that there wasn't a sewing machine next to the fax.
However she talks, I don't know. I'm with Rob from Slovenia. So Jason's like, "Oh, okay, I think."
I don't know where she wound up. Jared, she had asked if there was a place where she could use her computer, and I left her with Jared.
Well, then Jared,
I don't know where he took her.
She ended up in Tim's office on a.
Leave her at home. How about that? What, is there no Wi-Fi at your house?
Or in New York, in Manhattan, wherever the building is. And serious buildings in Manhattan, right?
Yeah, go to a Starbucks.
Don't they have free Wi-Fi in 2010?
I do. They do. They do. They did. They had Wi-Fi in coffee shops and shit. Goodbye.
Yeah. You see ya.
Computer for 3 hours, whatever you were busy with. And she's tied into Robin's new charity work with this comedy show. And then Robin, this is all third hand. You can refute anything you want. So Robin sees Richard, or one of those guys, Richard or Sal. You will be sitting at a table at the comedy show.
I was saying I would like them to.
No.
Okay, so you heard it from her first. I would like you to. Do you think that ever comes out of her mouth?
No, I know how she operates. She would be saying, you're going to be sitting.
Yes.
I guess my son's graduation must be on pause or whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whatever you had going on that weekend, forget it. You're now going to be in Robin's hands.
Completely. So one of the things is, who is this person that's going on one of their computers that's an assistant of Robin's that they don't know? And meanwhile, these computers, who knows what they have on them, like bits or, who knows what important stuff may be on them? How is she able to use one of these things and they're not getting pissed? Somebody's not getting pissed or saying, no, you can't do that. Wait in the green room.
You really can't do that because all corporations have, you have where things are, I guess, classified, even if it's not really that big of a deal. But your desktop is different than somebody else's desktop at work, depending on what you have. And you can't cross. You can't do that. I can't just hop on somebody's computer at work. That's this lady who doesn't work. Yeah. This lady at whatever, this assistant can just go on a computer. No, don't worry about it.
Deborah and I recently covered on Patreon the mess in her office from the year later. And we're thinking if they cleared it out, she could have used Robin's computer in the back office, her back office.
Yeah, why won't she use Robin's computer? Oh, because it's an episode of Hoarders back there?
Totally.
According to them.
And then at the end of it, I guess he missed the would like you.
No.
He said, oh, do you notice I was just told what I'm going to do? And I was like, no, it's a choice.
Robin's getting these guys to sit at tables, and then they get auctioned off to sit at the table for the night with it.
Like the slave trade.
All I know is everyone has to...
It's a choice. It's a choice. And she has like a machine gun at your back.
Yeah.
Bring into action with your charity.
Asked.
There's 15 organizations. Can you end it now? Everyone's wanting me to ask you. Would you just end it? Just stop, and we'll forget about it and never say a word about it. Can you stop?
No, because you would never stop saying words about it.
It just seems your charity work gets involved with everyone here. No one wants to be involved, I don't think.
Well, if they don't want to be involved, they don't have to be.
They're afraid of you.
Oh.
Okay, let me let this one play through.
Stop it.
They are.
To be afraid
They
of.
are so afraid of you. You hold a grudge.
You're wacky. I don't hold any grudges.
This is what I'm hearing. I don't say that. This is what I'm hearing. I'm telling you. I'm giving you feedback.
You're painting me as something that's ridiculous. And so are they. They're crazy.
Yeah, here comes JD. Uh-oh.
JD,
you sure you want to talk?
Yeah, well.
Why are you afraid of Robin?
Because I don't want to get yelled at. She threatened to stab me in the eye with a pencil for talking about her movie.
That is true.
It's so ridiculous. Like, they are being threatened, and it's created an awkward work environment.
Yeah.
And finally, after all this time, Howard is finally putting the foot down. Took long enough.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God.
That was different.
That was different.
She was leaving. I heard the thing with Sal and Richard.
Right. What'd you hear?
Well, I can't remember the exact wording, but it sounded, she wasn't asking. She was
barking it. I would like you to. Maybe that doesn't sound like an ask.
I didn't hear a would like. I heard,
will be.
No.
You will be.
This is where you so need Jackie. I hope something for you. I hope you have your time set aside for my function.
Exactly. You will be sitting at this table on Saturday.
It's a black tie affair.
I know you can't afford a tuxedo on your salaries, so go out and spend your money wisely.
Just wear white gloves.
Sitting at a table together with fans, and they will pay to sit with you. Who's going to pay to sit with Richard and Sal? I'd pay to stay away from them.
I was actually worried. I thought she would come up to me next, but, I didn't think I was that famous anyway.
Wow. Robin, don't ask me. I'm busy. God forbid I get a social life. You actually...
I miss when they played JD's crazy techno music when he came up, and most people in that scene don't have that like really awkward voice, like a really insecure voice. So that juxtaposed with JD always made me laugh.
Well, have you ever seen those wooden puppets that when you move the mouth, it makes that clacking sound? That's pretty much what I imagine his mouth looks like when he's speaking. I mean, I've seen the videos. He just looks so uncomfortable every time he opens his mouth, and that whatever comes out may as well be as intelligible as those puppets. So there's only a few minutes left, but either way, we're going to go into the wrap-up show of that day. And that is again, May 25th. And it was originally 40 minutes, but I made it 30 because I got rid of some of the extraneous bits of Sal being racist about bringing a Guatemalan child with him and having, the flies near him and stuff for authenticity. And it was just really awful. And I just didn't want that. It had nothing to do with the 15 Foundation exactly. So
I did like that part.
Oh, God, it was awful. Like, just you think Sal, no filter whatsoever. So let's continue.
We'll see if that's possible.
I have to get home early to watch Dancing with the Stars.
Yeah, exactly. That's definitely the way to do it. But I do want to start off with Robin's charity and what's going on with that. Gary, is everyone scared that they're going to be roped into this? Is Robin telling people what to do, or is that just hearsay?
I can only go off of what happened with me. I'm not scared. Again, I've said before, Robin's done so much for help with my charity that I'm there for her. It is a little soon since the last one, but she asked me, came to me, she said, hey, would you do me a favor?
It is a little soon since the last one. So she's multiple times hitting these people up for charities, not just once or twice, but constantly there's something there. So it's no different than you go to someone, look, can you attend this? Can you provide, I don't know, you guys make art. Can you paint something for this? And she's asking comics that are friends of the show who, she might be higher up than, can you perform here for nothing?
Right.
I seriously doubt any of those people got anything for attending except, I don't know, free booze. Most of teetotaler comics getting free booze. That's a great deal.
It's not.
No. So.
Would you be at my table that I could sell a table or whatever? And I said, great. The guys, Richard and Sal, said it happened a whole different way. You guys will be at my table.
They were told.
That's how they said it.
All right, guys, come down here because I want to talk to you about the prank call as well. Benji, what do you think? Are people afraid of Robin's charity work?
Well, Robin asked me. It just seemed like a fun thing to me, so I don't see what the big deal is. I don't know that she would have repercussions if you said, I can't do it. It's not like you really have.
Well, Benji doesn't have a family, and he's probably getting paid, I don't know, 3 times what Sal and Richard are being paid.
And he has a weird life.
Yes. So, I mean, he's getting sex for cigarette cartons.
And he also likes being in these situations. He thrives on it. He thrives on awkwardness. So anything to put him in any sort of situation would be interesting for Benji.
Totally.
To do any work. It's just like, yes, there could be a little pressure if you don't want to do it, like someone selling Girl Scout cookies at the office. But to me, it just seems like a fun thing.
Jason, I'm just going to float his theory and then let him come in. And he said this is no different than Letterman hitting on women in the office.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I want to hear that theory. Benji, did she ask you or did she tell you?
She said, hey, I would love to have you sit at a table that I'm auctioning off. I said, great. That sounds like a lot of fun.
All right, that sounds nice. You felt comfortable to say no if you didn't want to do it or you were busy that particular.
I would love you to.
Yeah.
That doesn't sound a little suggestive. Hey, if you know what's good for you, shithead, you're going to be here on such and such a date.
Or I will make your work life a living hell. I'll never look at you or speak to you again.
Yes, I may give you the silent treatment for 6 months at a clip, which, if it was me and Robin, I'd be happy as shit.
But remember when Jackie brought it up after all that time? And he said she hasn't talked to him in months.
Months. Yeah.
How uncomfortable. Imagine working in that. And you have to pretend to laugh and have fun on the air.
For that workplace, it's impossible. But I've done it before. For years, I wouldn't talk to this one who we hated each other, this chick. And we used to work together sometimes, some shifts. And everybody hated her. I wasn't alone. It was like no one liked her. The staff didn't like her. I totally had her robbed. She was useless as tits on a bowl as well, this one. And she was a preacher's daughter, even worse. You figure she might have attended a few Bible studies and been a better person as a result. But in any event, you're right. In this situation, there's no way you can get away, and especially Jackie in that situation. Jackie in studio with Robin. If you're Gary, you can get away with that, but not someone in the that's in the studio with them.
Again, Gary's perception too is way different than Sal or Richard. So even if you hear what he's saying, he is a different sort of person to Robin than they are. So he can get away with feeling this way, and it doesn't equal what they feel.
For sure. But I mean, this seems like a easy, fun thing.
It doesn't sound like anyone has said no.
It's basically someone inviting you to a party and being one of the guest of honors. I mean,
Gary, it sounds like no one has said no to Robin regarding this.
No, but he has said no. Again, I'm doing it because I always, want to help out with a favor. I wish it was a Thursday night instead of a Wednesday night, because I like when but that's the beauty of the show. You can really, everybody knows the intricacy.
A Wednesday fucking night at that place.
You couldn't push it to Thursday. What was it like? It costs more money to rent out the place for.
I'd say that's exactly it. Or if she wanted comics coming in, they already have their gigs booked for the weekend, so they got to do it earlier in the week.
Because that's their travel day is Thursday. Yeah. What a complete shithead. They all have to be there the next day at 4 a.m.
Yeah, 4 or 5 a.m. Jesus.
Is when Howard goes, Robin, why are you tiring my guys out on a Wednesday night? She goes, who wrote that fucking note?
Exactly. She definitely got pissed at that. Richard, I'm glad you're here. So were you told to do this or were you asked to do this?
We were told that we were going to be a part of the event. And, yeah, I mean, that's fine. I don't mind, but it was put in a weird way. And she said, I'm going to have you guys at a table. And we thought she was going to have us showing people to their tables. We didn't really understand what
bus boys.
Yeah, they would end up in the closet.
Not busboy. What does he call it? Host or hostess. Yeah, exactly.
She was talking about it first, and she goes, I'm going to have you at a table at my charity event. And she gave us the date, and we were like, okay. And we kind of looked at each other afterwards, and we were like, were we just told to show up?
Now, Sal, are you guys taking this the wrong way, or did she really assume that you were just going to do it?
She didn't assume. She made it perfectly clear this is what's going down.
But not in a mean way.
But not in a mean way.
Nice,
she was very sweet about it.
She said we were going to be there.
But we were put on the spot because she had this wacky assistant with her.
Okay. Now they're trying to dress it up, as in, like, they're trying to walk it back a little bit and say, she didn't tell us. She suggested, but she told us, but nicely. There's no nice way to say you're going somewhere and you have no choice in the matter.
Right. They're at least being honest, I think.
Yes.
Yeah.
Gary's not. Gary's just literally, he's just afraid to have to, he's just as afraid as the rest of them.
John, Hein, and Gary are asking questions that they already know the answer to make it sound like they're prying something open, but they know.
They're evil. And John Hine's the evilest of them all. Like, he knows the answer before it's been given.
That Bela Lugosi sounding lady.
Well, what made her wacky?
Well, it was just
she did
odd.
have a funny accent.
Yeah. So she comes and she goes, just want to let you know, you're going to be at my charity and you're going to be hosting a table. And we're like, wow, well, thank you.
Okay, why are you, I want to go down Jason's route because he's not making it. Why are you afraid to say no?
I'm not afraid to say no. Well, she is, Robin's a little kooky too, but, she can, she's a woman and I have a tough time with women.
Mostly. You think?
Yeah.
The guy who jerked off into a glass and gave it to an ex.
Yeah, he seems very stable.
Right. Communicating with them and whatnot. And I don't like any animosity around here. And Robin has a tendency of being really sweet on the air, but if she's pissed off at you, you can feel the heat in the hallway.
So if you said no, you could end up working in a hostile workplace.
That's a possibility.
So how is that any different than sexual harassment? Really?
You think?
Well, there is a difference between sexual harassment and this, but it is coercion. Like, it's power being abused.
Yep, it's definitely a power structure there. I mean, I would rather that than, David Letterman grabbing my ass, but okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, Robin's far from sexually harassing me, but
she has no sexual interest in us.
No, she's asking you to do something. If you don't do it, you feel like you'll be in a hostile environment.
But I'm
just being Jason. Don't misconstrue me.
Gary,
I don't believe this.
Don't misconstrue me. I didn't want to say no. I would, if I couldn't attend, I would feel bad to say no. But I do want to attend. Robin's done a lot of nice things for me.
But you would have liked to have had the choice rather than...
Sure. rather than being browbeaten in front of some stranger, right?
And it all comes. It all slipping out.
Yeah.
Browbeaten in front of the Slovakian assistant.
Spot. And like you said, Day night is pretty tough because we have to get up at 4 a.m. and
a little brown shoe polish, some cockroaches on my shoulder.
Jason, Gary said you're likening Robin doing this to Letterman and the interns at his place.
It's really because Howard did this whole rap on the air, and rightful, and he was right, by the way, that even if it's consensual between somebody like David Letterman and his intern, even if the intern's an adult and it's consensual. By being David Letterman, by being the boss of the office and going to the intern and trying to start a relationship and have sex, it's implied pressure.
He's absolutely right.
Yeah, he's not wrong. The way he's setting this up, it's right on.
Mm-hmm. Implied, maybe you should do this to help your job or move up in the company or he's the boss. In effect, Robin is David Letterman. Yeah, she didn't come to Sal and Richard and say you have to do this, but by being Robin and who she is when she asks, it's implied that you do this. She's number 2 around here. She is the David Letterman of the office. She's basically, treating you like molested interns.
So a boss should never ask somebody in the office to help them on a personal level. I'm checking.
No,
you might be right.
Somebody of Howard and Robin's stature, would you ever say no? If Howard came to you and said, Gary, totally up to you, of course, but I need you to come to my charity.
Can I depend on you, Gary? Does that ring a bell?
It's very true, though. They abuse their power.
Mm-hmm.
What if you don't want to do this? Then what? What's the conclusion of your work life if you say no? And it's going to be hell.
Well, Bob and I covered the Artie asking for time off to make beer league thing on Patreon recently. We finished the second half today, and it's as uncomfortable as radio as you'll ever hear. Mostly because we all know where Howard's coming from. It's just being a selfish king baby asshole. Where Artie's coming from is like, dude, this is in my contract. Like I'm allowed to do this, but I'm out of respect for you. I'm just telling you, I want your blessing. He didn't need his blessing, but to be, to make sure he's full transparency. And now this is the time where Artie's starting to figure out, oh, so you are a prick. Stuttering John's little thing with the Tonight Show proved that, and I didn't want to believe it. But now I thought maybe I'm different, but I'm not.
Nope, you're right. You're right in. Don't defy the king baby. And on top of that, he was going through a serious drug addiction. So he's juggling all 3 things at the same time, which I don't know how he did that. I really don't. Waking up with heroin withdrawals, having to go on the radio, then film, memorize your lines, I would be dead.
Yeah. Well, and as we said in the recording, it's not like they built Artie a studio so he could sleep in, like a little clubhouse, so he didn't have to go home. He could just, there was no travel time. It was a small production. So anyway, let's continue.
I would like you to come to my
I would
charity.
never say no.
Right, of course, because he's your boss.
Well, Sal did say something like that. That's a good point because Sal was like, we were talking it over afterwards and we were going to do it, but Sal was like, we definitely need to do this to be team players.
Right.
Right. And we do want to do it because we want to help out, but we feel we'd let Robin down if we said no.
It wasn't. Jason's right, but it was the manner and how it all came about.
Well, okay, I'm going to let this continue.
How did she do it? If she would have emailed us, it would have been a lot easier for us to decide whether or not we could do it or should do it.
There's been a lot of speculation and storytelling as to how this happened. How did it happen?
Explained it. She walked in. She said, "This is what we're doing." She said, "You're going to be hosting a table, celebrity event. It's going to be great." And we're like, thank you. What else could,
are you sure? Hey, Sal, are you sure she didn't say just because these a couple words make a difference? I would like you to.
JD can back us up.
So if it was a put on or if it was a lie, they wouldn't all be in on it. But every single one of them is kind of backing them up.
And when you suggest something, it changes sometimes your perception. So even though that's not what happened, sometimes you'll go back and think, wait, did it happen this way? Did it not happen this way? You'll kind of second guess yourself, but they all three of them know that's not what happened.
And this is important for Robin defenders because we did have one in the group who, she's a sporadic poster and she was like, why are we, giving Robin such shit? Well, because she's an asshole and she's almost as big an asshole as Howard is over the years. And I don't know that she deserves any sympathy. But in any event, she was given the out. She was asked by Howard, did you ask these people or did you tell them? And she said, no, I asked them.
Right.
And
So she
you're
lied.
hearing the truth. She completely lied because she knew it would make her look bad.
Yeah. And you know that when she lies, she has certain laughs to when she's really laughing or when she's being defensive.
Yes. Like, who, me? I never said that.
You're so crazy. It's crazy. Crazy.
Look at the screen.
Yeah. Oh, these people.
JD came into our office after this all happened and looked at us and was dying laughing.
JD, you should come down here and confirm this. Go ahead, Richard.
Go ahead, Richard.
Because JD knew that we were just told that we were showing up, not asked.
We were like two schoolboys slouched in our chairs, like, what just happened? And JD is just in the hallway cackling like a hen.
What happened this morning after this came up on the air? During the break, Robin came down to you guys?
She immediately came down to our room and shut the door, and it's like, oh, back to the principal's office.
Okay, we can let this through.
And said what?
If you have a problem with my event, don't go. And we're like, no, Robin.
Oh my God, what a bitch. She is insane. She cornered them.
She is insane.
That's totally not a hostile workplace, right?
I was at a loss for words. I was nervous when she came in today.
It was tough.
She goes, do you want to come to my event? And I was like, well, yeah.
Richard starts stumbling and goes, you paid for my girlfriend's engagement party, I guess so.
It really sounds a lot like you do enjoy having working kneecaps, don't you?
Yeah. She's not intimidating whatsoever.
No.
Well, I said she's done really nice things for me, and even though at one time she did say that nobody would care if I died, I try to forget her comments like that and think about the nice things that she's done, and this is for a good cause ultimately.
Gary, are they? Jim in Illinois, welcome to the wrap-up show.
How y'all doing today?
Hey, Jim.
Hey, I just think that Robin is really being heavy-handed, and I agree with Richard and Sal that, I mean, it's just inappropriate for her to compel their appearance for anything.
Okay, guys, and I apologize for the choppiness. I didn't edit it as smoothly as the Fonz might have, but that's, I wanted to get the meat of the matter, which a lot of it is callers. Sam?
And Robin offered to do the engagement party is different than telling somebody what to do. If Richard came up to Robin and said, you're going to be throwing me an engagement party, yet that's way different than offering to do something. And you're supposed to do it without I'm going to get it back from you when I demand you do something.
Well, that's it. And I mean, you shouldn't. We've talked about this early on in the podcast. I think we used to talk about a little bit about buybacks. Like in your mind, you're counting. Even if you're really good friends, you know that you're going to get back another night and they're going to drink more and you're going to pay for some more and vice versa, whatever it depends, or you're designated driver and another time someone else will, take up your burden. And you don't have it. It's not on the foremost on your mind, but it's always in the back of your mind where you want to get someone back for this. And you're a thoughtful person. You want to do that. With Robin, I don't know. I believe she wanted to do something nice for Richard, but I don't think that it comes without any kind of fucking strings. There's always some small print.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So.
I moved here from another state. In my old state, it was a violation of state law for an employer to ask underlings for donations, even if it were for a charity purpose. I'm not suggesting that she's violating the law in any means, but the policy is...
Well, she goes to jail for this.
She probably deserves it, but the policy is that you don't want to compel someone who may consider it to be a job requirement, that they participate, even if it's for charity. I mean, Robin's just dead-ass wrong, and it's inappropriate. And
Okay, a little more.
I think Richard and Sal should stand up for themselves.
Look, Robin doesn't deserve to go to jail because she wants people to help out with a charity event.
Probation?
Fine.
Well, no, none of the above.
Spanking.
And in fact, the way Benji explained the way she approached him is completely different than the way she approached Richard and
Well, how
Sal.
about you and Gary? She talked to you and Gary?
I wasn't spoken to.
Gary, how did she say it to you?
She stopped me in the hallway. She said, "Hey, I'm doing this charity event. Do you think would you be up for coming? And can I auction off a table with you, or maybe you and John Hine sitting at it?" And I said,
And that's because Gary is on a way higher level than the other two are.
Right. But pretending that doesn't exist, that sort of hierarchy between Gary and John Hine and Sal and Richard, is ludicrous.
It is completely.
Sure. Mine was I had a great experience.
I'm glad you did.
Well, I mean, she brought up your
you're
name.
involved, whether you
Letterman
or
asked
not,
me to
John.
dinner first.
I'm not even. I might have said, "Hey, maybe John." I'm not even going to blame that on her because they're already getting enough shit. Maybe I said, "Yeah, like maybe me and John," but I assumed if she got me, she was going to get you.
Chase, what were you going to say?
I was going to say the interesting choice of words. If she got me, she's going to get you. That implies you were nabbed.
Right. And then he's even backtracking. She originally said John Hine and Gary, but now Gary's the one who suggested it. So it sounds like he stepped in it and then backtracked.
Yeah, a little bit.
The bigger issue here, even beyond today, is that Robin's charity's totally taken over the office. Whether it's on air where she's slipping in charity stuff into the news, whether it's Sal and Richard, whether it's me looking up contacts, whether it's her assistant that's just dropped in the middle of the office when no one knows who she is, if she's in and out of Tim's office. It is. There's more charity work going on here now than radio work.
Good for you, Jason. Good for you for having the sack. Fuck.
Yeah, that disappeared. He was castrated as soon as Marcy came in.
Someone took away his Lexapro supply.
I know. It's so sad. And he got so fat.
Well, and actually that's become a thing now. I don't know if he's been on the air recently for this, but like, oh, how much did you lose? Are you still losing weight from that diet? I mean, was it bariatric surgery or whatever the fuck? Which is the one with the band? Is that bariatric surgery?
Yes. Gastro
sorry, that my bad. They want to make like it was all diet, which it might be, but I doubt it. Guys like that need a lot of help.
Well, the stress of the show is stress eating.
Yeah. Impulse control is sorely lacking in a lot of them. And in some ways I don't blame them. For Gary, it was probably popping pills and booze, especially. And then he had that knee surgery. Jesus Christ. Those Vicodins he was using, or not Vicodins.
Yeah.
What was it? Not fentanyl.
Oxycodone?
Yes, it was Oxy. And he was he's sounding like he was a little loopy when Howard would call him some mornings.
Yeah. I mean, those things that's basically like pill form heroin.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, it brings up a very valid point. And are serious resources being used for non-serious purposes?
We're doing an audit.
Well,
bring in a forensic auditor to examine it. I mean, I think
our relationship with Robin, it would be different if it was like an exec. I think in like serious, like
she's a co-worker, although she's definitely number two, as Jason
It's not
said.
fair to call Robin a co-worker.
Thank you, Jason.
Thank you. Yeah, trying to John Hine is such a little slippery worm. I fucking hate when he pretends things that aren't reality just to fucking kiss the ring. It's so infuriating.
It's sickening, yeah, and it's obvious. That's the worst part of it. He doesn't even have that little bit of, I'm on your side, but I got to go. You guys know me. I gotta have my marching orders to act impartial here.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
She's not Gary's
she's
co-worker?
Howard's co-worker.
She's not Gary's co-worker?
No, I wouldn't even go that far, really.
Do you feel
I don't
that
think there's
way,
anything
Gary?
about her.
I think Robin and I are co-workers, but I would say she's got seniority, and in my mind, I defer to her. If you ask me who was higher on the food chain, I would say Robin.
Obviously.
So, Jason, were you asked to do this?
No,
to be part of this event?
She asked me to. She said she's going to come to me asking me to look up contacts and stuff for her, but otherwise, no, nothing.
So fucked up. Like, why
That's
should he
completely
look up
fucked up.
contacts for you? Get your own. What is the Slavic lady for then? Fucking hire someone else.
Well, this is the thing. This predates the summit by 3 years, roughly. And she's pretty much doing the same thing, tasking them to do things that are not germane to their work. And it's not like they're getting paid extra for this, or they're going to hobnob with people for charity. I mean, it's just wrong.
It's not like they're going to get connections either, because they're not allowed to talk to these people that go to these things. They're just like, don't ask for any favors, don't make any networking contacts. So it's all one-sided and bullshit. It's such bullshit.
I guarantee how it went down. Jason went to Gary went to Howard or Tim, and they both said, look, she has to stop this because she's asking us during work time or even off work to do this, and we feel we have to because she's your number two. Right. And we figure maybe she has your okay to do this as well. And Howard, not wanting to know what anybody's fucking doing except when it's something bad, he's certainly going to turn a blind eye to it because he doesn't want to have to confront her. Exactly. Until it became where it starts interfering with the show, then it changes his mental perception of this entirety. That's right. And the mockery of her stuff, her going to Guatemala and all that stuff, that was just, her attention whoring for her. Like, she was happy with that being mocked. But the reason why, and a lot of it was all passive aggressive to the point where she was supposed to get the hint and she never got the hint because she doesn't get the hints. She's kind of brain dead that way. And it was, as long as there was attention, she didn't care. But now it's extraordinarily negative. There's no two ways about it. And now the wrap-up show has dedicated a good chunk of it to shitting on her. And that's when she gets upset about it all. Yeah. And then, she also does this with assistants. Like Captain Dennis was supposed to just be a boat captain, and then suddenly he was an assistant to Robin for all these things that were not a part of his job description. They totally take advantage of their situation. Oh, totally. Yeah.
Here's the thing that I think is interesting. She did the charity event I work for I'm on the board of a charity.
By the way, here's what I know about Gary's charity. I know when he goes to lunch for his charity. That's it. Otherwise, there's not like Life Beat meetings being held in the office.
Well, sometimes we have had Life Beat meetings up here, which Ross is on the board and we ask permission, and the company lets us do it. But we for my charity, we do 1 or 2 fundraisers a year. Robin is doing 3 fundraisers in 8 weeks, which is a lot.
She's involved with 30,000 different charities.
Okay, that's an extreme with 30,000, but Gary's right on the mark there, and we know because the events are there. We've gone through some of them early on. We talked about which ones, and we had videos that we played of the seeds and Sylvia's kitchen and all that stuff. And but yeah, it's spreading herself, and we said it's common sense. Don't divide your energy into 4 different charities. So rather than do all that legwork, she's decided, let's put 15 Foundation together, get the credit, and then hire people, bloat this fucking thing, so even less money gets to whatever charity was originally going to get it. That works, right? Instead of directly highlighting these charities, pick one. Yeah. Because nobody knows what this is, and you're having haphazard functions put together at the last minute that nobody wants to go to, and they're so frequent. And on top of that, it's not even fair. Like, how do you know that the same money for one charity event is going to draw the same money for this other charity foundation? And all of a sudden they're going to be, okay, so you raised 50,000 for them, but for us, you barely could come up with 8,000. Right. Yes. And yet you're spending your time with you claim you're trying to help us, but you're not really. Why wouldn't you do both of these things and divide the money in half and be equal, be generously, with the division of charitable funds? Anyway. Right. Then when you go to 15 Foundation too, how do I know my money is not? I say you really cared about smoothies and chopping vegetables, but you didn't really care about Black kids making movies. How do you know what your money is really going to if it's going to one big pot? Well, the only way to do that would be to do it directly and not go through 15 bullshit foundation. And we saw from the financials, that's why they had such trouble, because it was so clearly a front for bullshit celeb, tax write-off / attention grabbing, attention whoring. It was just, if you go to church, you put money in the basket. Imagine putting money in a basket with little holes for the coins, and the cash stays up on top, and the coins go into another basket, and that's what the church gets. Where's that other basket going? Yeah, totally. Yeah, I mean, it's disingenuous, and everybody smells it, everybody knows it, and they know Robin. That's the worst part of it all. We don't even have to have gone through most of this. They all know, yes, she's done charity work, but not to this extent, and we're not getting tasked to do stuff back then. Maybe the odd time here and there, but now we know that this is some kind of like ego thing for her.
Right. Totally.
Yeah. And that bothers people.
But the 15 Foundation, which seems to then support 8,000 different other charities, and that's not to mention the other charities outside of the 15 Foundation.
I'm trying to figure out which one is Robin's main charity. Like, I didn't go to the one at the UN. I did go to the one where she got honored. I'm going to go to this one. But I'm trying to figure out which is the one that benefits Robin the most.
Well, this is her foundation.
All of them?
I really, the UN's credibility, they had Hilaria Baldwin up there talking about her diet, and they introduced her as half Spanish. So I'm really reconsidering what the UN stands for if they're having Robin and that fucking lunatic.
So this is the one.
It's code. They're doing it for seed.
That last one, I don't know what it was.
But guys, what about the fact that here also you can goof on it all you want, but ultimately she's trying to do something good. She's trying to.
Well, I could make an argument for that. Howard's made the argument on the air many times. Howard says that he donates a lot of money to charity. Most people don't know what it is
because it doesn't exist.
I know. I was just going to say he doesn't donate. He always talked about he was proud for not donating to charity until at some point it switched. And then he started saying, I donate a lot to charity, but he never specified to what. Then it became for cancer, which, okay, but why wouldn't you express that before?
Absolutely. And it's certainly a noble donation. Donating to a cancer ward.
But it's weird how it came from saying I don't donate to charity, I'm taking all my marbles, they're mine, to I donate to charity, I donate a lot of money to charity, to then specifying it, because I think people started wondering, okay, what do you donate to?
Sure.
So he just threw out cancer because that's the most obvious one where nobody's going to question you.
Yeah. What do you donate to? Gout. TB.
Malaria.
Malaria. Yeah. Dysentery. So here's the thing. Well, recently in one of the breakdowns, I'm pretty sure, I know we've definitely got the clip of it. If not, I'm sorry, guys, correct me in the comments. But he mentioned something about charities and how they work and how they ask you for money for such and such. And he goes, well, don't ask me for, how about you just give me the money? Let me worry about which charity is getting it. Like he's going to be appearing somewhere and they're going to give him money to go to his charity or whatever. You're like, let me handle the money. Meaning, let me palm it first so I can decide who doesn't get any money whatsoever. Meaning, whichever means everybody.
Yeah, let me buy Beth another Birkin bag and then.
Yeah, pretty much.
And he's even gone as far as goofing on Imus and saying, Imus asks his listeners to put the money in. Why doesn't Imus just put the money in? So
yeah, wasn't it listeners that funded NSAL with those fucking calendars? Piece of shit.
Oh, yeah, that fucking grift.
That's going to whole other episode.
I think what he was saying is that if Rob,
maybe
Robin really wants to be charitable, if we weren't talking about Robin, we were talking about a stranger. He would say, like, why are you bothering all your friends for this? Why don't you just do it yourself?
I'm going to take it a step further. I think she's hurting the charities. And I'm being serious about that because, she had one cause. Let's just say it was educating the youth on how to eat better and be healthier, right? One cause. And then I think there's nothing wrong with her making an issue that's important to her public and let people know that she's behind it and bringing it to people's eyes. But instead, we're getting scattershot of one charity and one cause and one this and food bill of rights and...
Okay, now he hasn't said anything I've disagreed with just so far. Jason's pretty much on a roll.
Right, 100%. Imagine if you were the first lady of the United States, and you know how they always take up causes. Michelle Obama's was like eating good, so they put Sesame Street characters on fruit and vegetables in the grocery store to make them more appealing. Shit like that. Get up and move around. Take the sodas out of high schools. Fine. Yeah. But say you're a first lady and you are doing mental health, eating right, drugs, blah, blah, blah. It doesn't have the same sort of focus. And so you don't even care about any of it.
I mean, if you are that person who's able to give equally to every single charity your time and effort, then kudos to you. But the average person doesn't work like that. Okay.
Fat people in the army and young kids, and then
ping pong tables for black kids.
Ping pong tables and movies for black kids, and it's just like it doesn't. None of it makes sense. I don't want to donate to any of it. It all just sounds horrible.
I mean, it's ridiculous. I mean, you got kids in Ethiopia eating bird shit off of a dead man's sandals, and she's worried about a black kid with a movie camera. I mean, know what your priorities are.
Well, you might be oversimplifying there.
No, if you're going to donate money, I mean, donate it to the right causes.
Who do you?
Okay, now, so making an extremely shitty visual to make a point, but he's right. I mean, there are some more serious like this is why I'm sorry, guys. I know there's a lot of pet lovers in the QF fandom, but and I do like pets. I just have an allergy. I can't have them. Maybe a bird would be all right, but like PETA to me is not a charity I would ever donate to.
Yeah, if we can't stop having, like, for example, PETA will come out for some things, but then they won't say shit about other things. And it's like, okay, well, I don't know. It's all over the place.
Right. Like donate to, I don't know, make Doctors Without Borders or Red Cross or something like Amnesty International, something. There are certain worthwhile charities, but
it just seems to me like PETA does this whole like don't wear fur, and they just like get the celebrity up there, and it seems like more of a place card holder for celebrities to show off themselves naked, not wearing fur. And not wearing anything. Like, what
was that joke Jeff Ross did about Pamela Anderson being the spokesperson for PETA? Meanwhile, Tommy Lee's done more harm to pussies than anybody.
That's so true.
What is a kid going to eat a video camera?
What's the right
some film?
Like what are some examples? Yeah, what are some examples of causes that
breast cancer? There you go. And those are the ones. Those are the ones that I do. I'm doing one for single moms soon. I just did a leukemia benefit.
I will say, single moms at Rick's Cabaret.
Let's not get into specifics.
Why don't you give the money to your wife now?
Well, that's soon to be single mom.
Exactly.
JD, in all honesty, Sal does a lot of charity work every year. You can goof on him all you want, but at least twice a year he's doing some sort of benefit.
It's true. A lot of those guys, Levy especially, they used to do a lot of work for firemen, police officers, families who dead officers in the line of duty, other comedians, benefits and stuff like that. It's pretty amazing what some of those guys will do.
Artie too.
Yes, Artie did loads of charity gigs. Yep.
JD.
Yes.
Sal and Richard described it as Robin not asking but telling them that they had to do this event, and they said that you heard it, were laughing about it, and then talked about it. Are these guys telling the truth?
They are telling the truth. She wasn't exactly. She was telling them without telling them. Sort of putting it nicely. And I, you guys can be greeters or whatever the hell.
Should I start playing some techno now?
It's like I just picture them like in Walmart vests. Hello.
Yeah.
Greeters.
Well, with big 15 signs on their shoulders. And
I can't remember.
Table hosts.
Which
sounds like a waiter to me.
And described or whatever. And Sal, of course, was, yeah, sure, okay.
Oh, I bet Sal was all up for it.
But I thought she was really ballsy to question Robin on how much she was charging for her charity today during her news segment.
Oh, that's Lisa G he's talking about. I cut that out because they're saying I don't know if he's going to go into it, but well, hold on for a sec.
What did she say?
Oh, she was like, she kept pointing out how much the tables cost and it was $250 a ticket, and maybe Robin should lower the ticket prices so more people could go. And I'm like, you know what? This is a woman who sells a dozen cookies for $24, says she gives some mysterious portion of it to charity, and she's questioning Robin on how much she charges. Like, you're both insane.
I agree.
I agree completely, yeah. And that is such a bullshit. You should have, full transparency when it comes to that shit.
Could you imagine making cookies, pocketing some for yourself and not? I mean, it's just crazy.
Well,
cookies?
I hate to admit it, but we did a grift at Halloween one time. My friend stole 3 or 4 UNICEF boxes for us to wear. We used the money to get a pizza.
That's so bad.
We paid the delivery guy pennies.
Oh my. garage.
That was we were like 11 years old, just stupid shits. I felt so bad about that.
Oh.
Either one.
It's really funny.
That was a good pizza. That was the best pizza I ever had for the money.
One of you insane women are more than welcome to come down here and state your case, but I think Robin's gone.
If Robin walked through that door, you'd all shut the fuck up.
I really
now.
wish she would. I really wish Robin would come down because you're right. The tone of this conversation. Oh, you did. The tone of this conversation would change dramatically.
She's so calm.
Okay, I've just been informed Robin has politely declined to come down to the wrap-up show. Politely, but she's more than welcome to anytime she'd like, or she can call in if she'd like.
And by the way, she just ran into Jim Florentine, and they hugged each other in the hall outside here just moments ago.
Okay, Mud Langford there in the mix.
Side here just moments ago.
Breaking news. Why isn't he on the bill at this comedy
did she
show?
tell him he has a table or ask or anything?
I left.
Ron in L.A., you're on the wrap-up show.
Hey, guys, I just want to point out that it's clear Robin's biggest motive for doing all this stuff, this charity work and everything she's doing, is to fill the void in her life. She has no kids. Everyone's afraid to say that. But it's so ego-driven. How else could you explain it? Everything she always does, it's about filling the fact that she doesn't have a husband. No.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's about kids because Robin doesn't want kids whatsoever, but I do think it's about ego. He's right about that.
Absolutely.
Kids. Anyone who wants to be charitable is just charitable. Robin's got a lot of money. She can make donations anonymously or do these things, but the fact that she tells people, come see me get honored for doing charity, it's just the height and arrogance. And you know, and I like Robin, but man, it is clear as all day that it bugs the hell out of Howard, too, the way he points things out, the way he reads the email to her, and she doesn't get it.
Ron, you don't think she's...
That guy nailed it. He nailed it, our entire saga.
Yep. We can hang it up from here.
Let's hang it up, except we're not.
Sincerely wants to help people out here. You don't think her intentions are good?
Of course, someone is benefiting from what she's doing, and so I do think that is a motive. But I don't see anyone else saying, "Hey, come see me get honored. Come see me get honored
I can
for
tell you,
what I'm doing."
I can tell you, I know how that works. And what happens is a charity approaches you and says, "Can we honor you?" And the reason is because you have a lot of friends who have money. And so, they are honoring her, but it's really the way charities work. It's the way fundraisers work. You see.
Okay, thank you for the spin, Gary.
People being honored all the time.
They want your Rolodex. So Robin agreeing to do it was very nice, quite honestly.
No, I understand.
No, it's not very nice. It's not very nice. It's actually very
self-centered,
shady, and just like it's so obvious and transparent what it is. And for them to paint it any other way, Robin took that honoring as something other than I want your Rolodex. She made pretend it was because she's so honorable. It's not okay.
That honoring was no different than one of the 3 pictures of herself she has in her office. Like that was another picture. That was the same. It was representation. You don't go to one of those things unless if it's going to be money going for charity, whatever, that's wonderful. But you usually do it at the end of your career, like at the Friars Club, like one of those things, benefit for, I don't know, toy drive or, for Christmas or, something, or cancer trust, whatever. And when she's going, I can't believe it's anything other in your 50s. It's anything other than let me get my ego fucking stroked and let me hobnob with a bunch of celebs.
That's exactly what it is. There's no other 2 ways about it.
Yep.
Gary,
hold on, Jason.
You do your charity work, but you don't do it every other week, and it seems like it's becoming like a topic of every other show.
Well, that I agree. It seems that, like I said earlier, she's doing a lot of different charities. But Jason, what were you?
I was just going to say that. Yes, you have a point with that feting thing, but I've seen her at several charity events now. She definitely enjoys the trappings of a charity event. I'm not saying that's the only reason she's doing charity, but she likes the gala, she likes the ball gown, she likes the pomp and circumstance.
Yeah, Jason again completely on point.
Right, she's making up her own award show. That's what this is. This is dressed up for an award show. There's nothing.
It's like Howard's best hair award that he created.
It's exactly what it is, except for on a large scale that's inconveniencing a lot of people.
Yeah, Matthew Schultz, if you can make a picture of Robin. Like thin, skinny. this era Robin as a gold-plated Oscar award. If we can use it, that would be perfect.
She made up her own Oscars.
Yeah, It was, except might have been Oscar Myers.
Except for the only people who got awarded were Robin.
Oh, fuck. Yeah. Yeah.
She's clearly in her element when she's at these.
But why can't you do something that's good for charity? And still, should she not enjoy? Would it be better if she looked miserable doing it?
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with her enjoying herself at these things.
No.
Provided that the money's going to the charity and helping out these kids.
Again, going off what this caller's saying. He's saying that, listen, you can donate $500,000 by writing a check and never say a word about it, or you can make yourself part of these big events. And my thing is, she clearly enjoys being part of these big events.
But okay, so I'll take Robin's side for a second and saying, okay, she can write this, and who knows what check she writes.
Right.
But the more important thing is she does have a platform she does have a platform to educate people.
Gary with his tongue firmly up Robin's ass again. Jesus, I wish they would just stop. I love Robin, like the Don Rickles thing. You're like, yeah, but she's a nice girl.
Right. It's very patronizing because we clearly see what it's doing, what they're doing.
And they'll pay for it the next day.
But most people don't have.
Absolutely.
But it's the Howard Stern show. It's not the Robin Quiver show.
A lot of people on the show have that same platform, and she chooses to use it this way.
Yeah, but and by the way, she was not above. Like I think I don't even got I got every single instance of it. But she was plugging her charity on the show constantly during this time.
I remember being so annoyed as a listener when 15 would come up. I would instantly go, ugh. Like, just, enough. We get it. Could you imagine if Artie did that? If Artie had a charity, he would be completely shut down. Only Robin gets away with this.
Yeah, Artie's doing a benefit for clean syringes or whatever the fuck. But the thing is, you got also like somebody like Mel Karmazin going, what's with this 15 Foundation? Did 15 Foundation pay for that plug? I want to make sure of this, because her talking about it, okay, that's one thing. You're discussing a charity. That's what she's doing in her life. But at the end of the news, when she crowbars in a fucking plug, that's when administrations can get, like, no way, this can't happen anymore. So it could have been from many levels where they shut it down and said, fuck it, no more 15 Foundation on the air. It's enough.
I agree. Like, I don't think that they would be okay with that, because the sponsors are paying. Why is she allowed to crowbar this in? But, Squatty Potty doesn't get a mention unless they pay for it. Exactly. And the other thing is, I think basically what happened was Robin was kind of getting a little piggish each time she did something. And if she could put more out there and see how long they would let her get away with it. And then when the hammer finally comes down, that's what she's pissed off about ultimately. And the wrap-up show is just an excuse for her to get pissed off at underlings. I'm sure she's really pissed off at Howard, finally, forgetting that he's fucking on her. Yeah. Do you know what I remember when we used to have at the other place, the Secret Santa? So I guess, yeah. I never did it because it was just not cost-effective for people to ship over here. Well, I did it, and I got somebody one year a Squatty Potty, and then I got them I one of their quotes in like the forums. He was so miserable and said the most craziest, like, nasty things on the forum. So I quoted it in like gold leaf letters and framed one of his quotes. And so I sent him that with a Squatty Potty. He was so happy. He was like the nicest I've ever seen him on there. That's amazing. And you could also make the argument that Howard could tell her to stop. I mean, Howard could say, hey, it's been too much. But you guys know Howard better than anyone, and just from years of listening, you know he's not going to go directly at her. So he wouldn't offend Robin like that. So he reads the email, hoping that she'll get it. He'll make fun of her. The constant, the theme, the Guatemalan theme, it doesn't seem to sink in, and no one's going to tell her, you can't do this. But it seems, even from a listener standpoint, it seems pretty inappropriate, I got to say. But the caller nails it perfectly. Yep. The callers, oh, God, I miss them. They understood the show better than anybody that was on the inside at some point, because they were so insulated and so hopped up on their own fucking ego that you needed those listeners to puncture holes and bring them back to reality. But also in fear of, whoever was above them that they may have been criticizing. So Howard certainly, like, if he was going to get shit on by the listeners, hey, that's not us. We can do that. But even that wasn't acceptable eventually. I know, because then it was like, okay, how do we silence this? Oh, let's limit our Twitter and Instagram comments. Let's cut out the listeners. Let's get fake callers from the back office. I mean, it is some Soviet style shit at this.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yes. I'm like a woman who's been raped.
Okay, let's continue.
All right, thanks for your call there.
And by the way, every time Robin does something, I've heard this rap for 20 years. She's filling a void. The horses are filling a void. The boats are filling a void. I'd sort of bullshit.
The sausages are filling a void.
Robin likes to get out and do stuff.
But it's also kind of, just going back, it dilutes it a little. Again, this goes to if Robin ever asked me for my advice, I'd say pick one charity and focus on it, because Gary and I got a call the other day from someone in the office, from someone outside the office who goes, I never asked the show for anything, when this is a person that clearly asks the show for something all the time, and it dilutes it. Right. And with Robin, I feel if she had one charity once a year, she did this big thing, I think it would be perceived better, as opposed to every few weeks something different, something new, something more.
I think I agree with you a little bit on that one.
Okay, there you go. But it has to be Jason to say it, not fucking Gary, who should be saying it.
Right. And everybody knows that's true. And again, Robin, if she were smart, would have taken the advice instead of, having to owe money and put it in for your charity, because you would be on the positive end of it if you actually had something worthwhile and focused.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
I know this has probably been touched on, but I think a lot of it is she's trying to improve her image and really get this image of something besides what she has been, so that maybe she can get a TV show if Howard retires.
What do you think her image is that she's improving on?
Whenever you hear Robin and on Howard Stern and you don't know the Stern show, you just think, oh, they're dirty, they make these.
Just by being associated with the Stern show, it's no different than if you were the bassist in Gigi Allen's band. I mean, like, if you're just a bassist, great, maybe we can use you. All of a sudden, you're part of a band where the lead singer throws his own shit at the audience. Maybe you lose a few gigs just by association.
Right. And to be honest, it doesn't matter how many of these things she did. She will always be associated with that. So it's really not going to do anything. It's not going to change it. You can't unhitch your wagon to that horse. Yeah,
absolutely.
Dirty jokes. I think she wants to be seen as somebody that does all this nice work, so that middle America and maybe people that don't really know the Stern show will know her as a charitable person, and maybe she can be like the next Oprah and get a big TV show.
Robin said something very telling about 6 years ago. It was right after Howard did his 60 Minutes piece, and she said this on the air. She was watching at home, and in a way it made her sad, because how come they weren't doing a 60-minute piece on her? How come she only worked with the guy they were doing the 60-minute piece on? She wanted to be the person featured in the 60-minute.
I love that one. We covered that ages ago. It was one of our first batch of episodes, and Jason's he's not wrong about this exactly, because that is the 15 Foundation is also something she wants to network. She's going to use it to crowbar herself in society on a different level that Stern never would.
And she wants it to be about her and not Howard.
Yes.
Everything is always about, if it's about the Stern show, he inevitably is the star of that honoring, or that focus of the event is him, not her. And I think for the 60 Minutes piece, she's probably thinking too, he wouldn't even be getting this if it wasn't for me Uncle Tommying it up right beside him all these years. He would have been canceled decades ago if I wasn't sitting in this fucking chair taking this shit.
Oh, that was her complete motivation behind that feeling. Absolutely. And the other thing about that whole episode was she wasn't even featured in the 60 Minutes thing. Even like
Not
maybe in
all.
passing, like a picture, like there was B-roll or whatever, but you never heard her. She wasn't even approached, or even worse, she was interviewed by 60 Minutes and they didn't use it.
I know. I wonder if that's the case, because, Horseface was front and center of that whole thing.
Yeah.
Mike in New Jersey, welcome to the wrap-up show.
Does any of you gentlemen believe that Beth actually loves Howard?
Yeah, let's cut right to the nitty-gritty. Artie and I spent last weekend with him, and if she's in love, then she should get a fucking Oscar. Right. If she's not in love, I should say.
I love that one.
And I really think you could trace all of this back to that moment.
Sure.
Cheryl in Tennessee, you're on the wrap-up show.
Yeah, I've just been trying not to call and pick on Robin, but it's just come to the point where it's getting to be an annoyance on the show. I turn the radio on to hear Howard, and all I hear is Robin this and Robin that, and it's really getting old. And she made a comment a couple of weeks ago about she thought that the narcissist test scores were wrong.
I'm going to let this one play through, guys.
And I kind of want to agree with her on that point. I think they're way wrong. I think they dropped a 1 off the front of hers because she's got to be in the way 100. To even go into those guys and just flat tell them they're going to show up, how are they going to respond?
Well, she defended herself on the show today and said she didn't tell them. She went in and asked them. It sounds like through everybody talking here that maybe it came off as assuming they were going to do it. But
she did say, John Hein.
You know what fucking happened.
No.
They're telling you.
Yeah, so now you know it's a lie, and you're still peddling that narrative.
Yeah.
Yeah, she didn't tell.
I don't know. I'm just one of the thousands, I think, of the show that don't take the time to call in. We're all getting a little sick of Robin and continuous charities. It's just, I mean, I think that other caller was right. I mean, Howard is trying to drop hints, and she's just one of those people that can't take a hint and know it.
And the other thing is, maybe she gets the hint, but she's more like, well, fuck you, you pelican. You want to tell me to stop this, you have to tell me. And she wants that confrontation because they don't have any relationship anymore. So she can say, fuck it. I'm going to take full advantage of this childish, scared asshole and just do it until he says no.
And you want to know why, too? It's because she has North Shore Animal League to compare it to. So you're going to have your beard up here and your beard calling in and all the other peddling crap for NSAL. So, she's looking at that and saying, well, if you're doing this and Beth's getting away with it, why can't I?
Oh, yeah. And I'm your number 2. And
don't
I don't
forget
mean
it. Fucker.
All right, Cheryl, thank you. Duly noted. By the way, there was another caller up earlier. We didn't get to him, and he got cut off. But how much money do you think Robin could get to pose in Playboy?
At least $1 million.
Exactly $0. Exactly $0.
I love this question because they used to float it all the time. And in the late 90s, early 2001s, I still would collect Playboys. I hated the airbrushing of the arseholes and stuff. That was really stupid. But the articles really were good. The Playboy interviews used to be amazing. And but yeah, and having some tits in the magazine is also good, guys. Sorry. But the thing was, they were big on the trend of which celeb can we get into the magazine every year. So one point it was Tiffany, the singer, like, I think we're alone now, right? And then, Carney Wilson, when she slimmed down, posed for Playboy. And I'm telling you, I wanted to give that magazine back. Sorry.
Oh, my God.
She wasn't awful, but it was like, you can't shoehorn, no matter what you Photoshop, you can't shoehorn some people into Playboy and expect that to be any good. But then the idea they were floating was, could Robin pose for Playboy? At 55? No. At 45? 40? Maybe, when she was a lot thinner. But the standards for that fucking magazine used to be pretty goddamn high. And there was a certain look they were always going for. But for a celeb pictorial for her, at some point, yes, they would have paid her some money.
Yeah, I'm sure they would have back then, but not now. But not at that time.
No,
way.
50, some grandmother who's closing on 60. And not quite as thin as she likes to think she is.
I don't know what Playboy's pay scale is, but it's got to be over. I'd say 3 million, 4 million.
We'll pay you in plugs.
Imagine the story if Robin posed nude in Playboy for the 15 Foundation. It's $1 million in cash and $10 million worth of publicity.
Hasn't she said for personal million she would do it? Maybe that was a couple years ago, but I think she did say it.
Well, I remember us talking about it before. Well, do you think, Richard, that defeats your argument of her putting a different image out there?
She'll pose for Playboy just like she'll be a drug dealer, just like she'll work for a pimp, just like she'll be a porn star.
Yeah, the Canterbury Tales of Robin. Fucking bullshit.
Now I'm picturing her. Things she says in the way they would write. Chaucer would write with the Y's and the E's.
The wife of Quivers.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, the Playboy would kind of ruin her chances of becoming mainstream.
What about
Penthouse? Or Jugs or something.
Brian in Cincinnati, you're on the wrap-up show.
Hey guys, just wanted to tell you that the show has never been better when you guys just vaporize Robin and she's not there to catch it.
Vaporize.
Oh
my God.
I love that so much, that imagery.
Interrupt you guys. So I certainly appreciate the uninterrupted Robin bashing. I love it. So continue that. I also agree with Cheryl that the charity work is just the ultimate proof of her narcissism. That it's just the ultimate proof. And lastly, I think this is all this charity work is kind of a part of a bigger picture as to where Robin wants to go. You know.
Okay, a little more.
Like I don't know who said it, something about being the next Oprah, et cetera, et cetera. But I think there's some bigger picture here that isn't really being uncovered.
I suspect Robin enjoys, being known for doing good things. But this is ultimately Howard deciding what to bring up on the show or not.
Yeah, but he doesn't want to break her balls because then it'll rattle the show and he'll feel uneasy.
He totally broke her balls.
I mean,
today.
he doesn't want to.
Yeah, go ahead.
I was thinking, do you think a lot of the reason why he waited so long to say something too is because Robin knows secrets? So you don't want to rock that secret boat. You don't all of a sudden want Robin to start dropping.
I don't know.
You're gay.
Well, I don't know that because the thing is that's always in the back of my mind is, doesn't he have more than enough money to make her life a living hell in court if she does this?
I don't know, but
then I don't know what he's suing for at that point. But
what if she just dropped it on some anonymous thread board?
What if she just said it on the air?
Right. Like I think there's always that thought in the back of my mind, like, well, maybe he's just not saying anything because she doesn't want to rock the secret boat.
It's possible. I mean, we talked about Les Moonves, why he dropped the lawsuit, the CBS lawsuit against him when he, after he left for Sirius, and that, maybe Wiggy knew, and maybe everybody in the industry knew Les was a vile shitbag, but who isn't, I guess, in the industry, really. Most people are.
Yeah, true.
And that might be the reason for it. So it's a possibility, but I would say no. I think it was just being a pussy, and it's not. She doesn't do it that much, but until she started making back office staffers cutting out snowmen, or snowflakes to do sign and autograph for people, or tasking interns to do stuff for 15 Foundation. And if stuff like that gets back to Howard, that would absolutely set him off, because all of a sudden, they're my employees, not Robin's. That's when he would get pissed. Yeah.
And even worse, they're serious employees.
And the other thing is, who knows how long that was going on before he got wind of it. And that's why she thought it was all okay.
Right.
So
you're right.
We'll never know.
I don't think he wants to say point blank, Robin, cut it out. This is not a fucking cable. This is not the Jerry Lewis telethon. This is the Howard Stern show.
But we told Howard during a break today about the story about what happened with Robin approaching you. Howard could have chosen not to discuss it. And then that's fine. So really, Howard brought it up, and then he busted her balls about it a little bit. So it's show content for him that he finds funny.
Which I agree with, but Benji says he should go point blank and say cut it out.
No, I'm just saying it's old. People are complaining about Robin. It's really
saying it's Howard's decision.
It's Howard's decision. Robin might make one or two mentions.
Okay, a little more
of it, and which he's done. But then if it becomes a whole show thing, that's Howard deciding whether or not to make it a show.
Yes and no.
Gary,
I'm sorry. Once she brings it to the office, come on, it's going to end up on the air. Sorry.
No, it's okay. Gary, is it fair that Robin's getting all this flack when ultimately what she's trying to do is just help out some people? I mean, she's getting killed on the calls.
We just went over this.
What did I know? He's such a prick.
Oh, God, we just went over this.
Yeah.
Has been sort of knocking her.
Email.
I think Robin has her heart in the right place. She's mostly right. I think that if she did two things, reel it in a tiny bit, be a little less preachy, and just space out your charity events a little bit more. But I think for the most part, her heart's in the right place. And I agree with Jason saying, I'm confused about what the issue is, but I don't agree with people that she's filling a void in her life and all that crap.
If Robin was asked to star in a movie, like some commercial movie, and Howard brought it up a lot, would you guys be as annoyed by it?
Okay, a little more.
Depends on how organic it was. You know, it depends on how, if we just talked about it, or if it seemed like Howard was crowbarring it in.
To put it in, to compare that directly to what's going on now, it would be not just Robin's in the movie, but now the director's up here every once in a while, and there's production assistants running around, and Robin's getting her costume changes up here.
When Artie had his books done and everything, did that annoy you? That people?
No, because after it hadn't happened before, and it didn't happen after. And when he was doing a book, you understood that he had need to do that. We went through the same thing with Robin.
And keep in mind, guys, from the time that this happens to the end of the year, Gary's book is out and he's doing promotion, and Wiggy gets really pissed about that before long. Like, he goofs on it for a while, and then all of a sudden it's enough with this book promotion shit, which is just a shit on Gary and content. But I think he really was upset by it because he was thinking, why are you releasing a book?
Right. He didn't like it whatsoever. I also think when they said, well, why doesn't Howard just tell Robin to directly cut it out?
Right.
It's kind of like when you're disciplining a child. If you don't say what you mean and follow through, they're just going to fucking keep doing it. They don't.
Yes.
What do they care if you don't lay down the law?
Yeah.
I don't know. It just seems a little more continual.
And Robin brings it up a lot, Benji. I mean, Howard brings it up sometimes, but Robin starts the conversation a lot of the time.
The big one, the big bomb Robin dropped was yesterday. What's in the news, Robin? And she opened up with a plug.
I noticed that too.
She does it a lot.
When you're backdooring Howard like that, that's really disrespectful.
And
in my opinion.
There was one day
I agree. I not that I give a fuck about Howard, but Robin's news and then a plug starts off the news.
It's so, and then you hear how he just said backdoor. So she's not paying for this because they would know who's paying, because they're the ones that do the work behind the scenes with all that crap and sponsors.
Well, definitely somebody like Gary would say, oh no, that was a paid endorsement, you know. And
you don't hear shit.
Right.
I think it was last week too. Howard started talking about her tweets, and then Howard, me and Sal got really mad, and we were yelling at our radio because Howard started to play one of our prank calls, and Robin goes, "Let's get back to my tweets." We were on my tweets, and we thought Robin was going to sidetrack our call.
Richard called her the C word.
No, I didn't.
I wish he did. Robin's tweets. Oh, I used to remember those tweets were so, they had no cohesive thought. They were always garbage.
And more recently, it was Benjamin called her out for, she wrote down the COVID-16 or something like that. He goes, "You're getting, Robin, you're all your 3 numbers off. It's not so, you're like, honestly, not bad this time. I'm happy you got close."
Yes. I love when Benjamin corrects her tweets and he's like, "You almost got it."
Yeah. Well done, Robin. Just a little more. Like a kid learning arithmetic.
You're an asshole.
Were you upset? You know eventually your call is going to get played, right? Why would you be upset? Even like today, when he went to play the call where Sal once again implied that I was a pedophile. Before that, there was a whole...
That's where the joke has been coming from for ages. Because A, he looks like one, and B, well, he seems like one. I don't know.
He definitely looks like one. There's no doubt that he's an obese, disgusting pedophile in a van, unmarked.
Right.
Blacked out
discussion
windows.
That with blackout plates. One of those license plates that switches.
And then the call
when he beeps the horn, it's an ice cream truck sound.
The Mr. Softy.
Played. So why would you be upset over that?
Well, sometimes it gets delayed a day or two, and it's just, we're proud of our calls. But you know, it was just funny that Robin was so into having Howard read her own tweets. Yeah. You know, like it just seemed funny.
If we want to, guys, we could easily go back and get those tweets because she doesn't have that many. It's pretty funny.
So bad.
They are awful.
That she was that into her own thing.
And you're a hypocrite for that, by the way. I don't mind. I think it's funny as hell.
I'm a hypocrite.
Because you can't whine and cry when Gary makes fun of you being a pedophile.
I didn't say you were. I said you were. I said you.
Wait a minute.
You were like.
And then you turn around and then you turn around and do the same thing to me or anybody else in one of your calls.
John, first of all, there are 1 million John Hines in the phone book. Okay, but calm down.
I missed the show. Why can't we go back to this? It's not working.
No, it's not. So let me just cue this up. Hold on. Guys, we're going to play you the video version of the 26th of May 2010, where they start off the day. Robin's pissed off about the wrap-up show, and she was like, she must have told him, I got to talk about this. Or more specifically, I believe he knew he was going to go for it because he heard them on the wrap-up show, and I believe he gave them directives to talk about it.
Oh, completely. Otherwise, you'd say, don't bring that up or something. Yep. I also think poor Captain Dennis, after that wrap-up show, he must have been ducking covering. Robin must have been fuming around that house.
And because she reacted the way she did, there was no talk of it on, I think, the 26th wrap-up show. I'm pretty sure. I'll have to go back and check. We're only going to be able to play this one because it is quite a while. It is quite a long clip, but here we go, guys.
A couple of guys were talking about your charity work on the wrap-up show. But you know what it is? They're forgetting you're doing something really good.
Oh, no. That couldn't possibly be happening. I'm just, bathing my ego, filling a hole.
What's on that screen that's so fascinating that she always has to go back to?
Yeah, she just has to keep looking at the screen. She doesn't want to. She doesn't want to be confronted by this.
Absolutely. And she can't make eye contact. Do you remember the video where the Cleveland book signing, where there's a video of it and they went back to the office to find her and she was shuffling papers and going to the printer and not meeting the gaze of the camera?
Yep. She won't look at you when she's the one in the hot seat.
Yes, not at all.
It really makes me look at the people I work with as kind of like evil, horrible people.
Well, wake up and smell the rotten coffee.
I try to think well of everyone, but oof.
No.
I couldn't even look at these guys this morning. I was like, wow, such evil thoughts.
No, evil?
Listen.
How is it evil to point out, call a spade a spade? It's not evil. It's the truth.
Yes, and by the way, guys, we're talking about a garden equipment, not the racist meaning for spade.
Oh, yeah.
That's what you work with.
I'll have to remember that.
Goddamn right you should. It's with you.
Don't think they're just putting on an act. These are real horrible human beings.
By the way, Robin's put together a spectacular charity event coming off our last one. And this one is a comedy.
I didn't put together the last one. Somebody asked me if they could honor me. Right. It was.
Oh, fuck.
I don't know if I have the audio of this, but my God, I would have loved it if they had coverage of it. I don't know if Howard TV really was there. Maybe they filmed a little bit of it, but I don't remember seeing the episode. And Howard's happy as a pig in shit because he knows she's upset now, and he's just like, let's let it roll.
Someone else's charity.
Exactly. But this is your event.
Yeah.
And you have, who do you have coming?
Dave Attell, Daryl Hammond, Gilbert Gottfried, Paul Mooney.
That's a good night.
That's a brilliant night.
I did hear Sal and Richard. Sal and Richard were talking about they're going to be one of the...
nothing's set in stone. I don't want their participation if they don't want to be a part of it. They lie and say, oh, no, we'd love to do it.
Jesus Christ. Gaslighting.
Gaslighting, narcissism is unbelievable. That's not what happened, but okay, keep going.
It's off the charts. We'll keep going.
And then they have these ulterior motives. I don't want them to be bothered with it.
I think you're jumping on them too fast. They were real excited about it.
I heard something about Richard's going to go there and get drunk, and Sal's dragging a Guatemalan kid somewhere he's going to find a Guatemalan kid to bring or something.
No. I just listened to the clip.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. They were saying that, first Sal goes, someone asked him, I guess there's a table where they're going to be sitting, and
okay, a little more, guys.
You will get to sit with Sal and Richard for the evening. Am I correct?
Right.
So Gary or John said, well, Sal, are you going to are you going to really have to prepare for this? Are you going to make it special? And he goes, no. I'm just going to sit there. And Richard goes, no, we're going to bring our A game. And then Sal all of a sudden goes, yeah, we're going to step it up. We're going to make it fun. Like he goes along with whatever Richard says. Here, I'll play you the clip. It's great. Sal does the complete turnaround within 3 seconds.
Okay, and here we go, guys.
People are bidding on these tables, And, Howard was joking that who would want to sit with us. But I'll tell you this, if you bid on me and Sal's table, you're going to have a hell of a good time.
Do you feel like you have to perform at something like this? Like people are going to come in with expectations sitting at your table?
Well, kind of, yeah.
But you know what?
I mean, we
I look
want
at
to
it this
make
way.
sure the people at our table have fun.
If you're going to build a fire, you need gasoline, and that's how it is. We got to.
He's such a stockbroker.
He just
fraud.
I love it.
We got to light this motherfucker up. This ain't a game of canasta.
He went from no to we got to light this
You
motherfucker
didn't even have 30
up.
seconds. It was like instantaneous.
He could have broken his neck with that turn.
Yeah.
Must have got a bloody nose.
He's a funny guy.
From pulling out of that power.
No, yeah.
No, yes, no, yes. Whatever Richard said, I agree with.
So with a bunch of old ladies, this is Richard and Sal at Robin's extremely important fundraising event, and it's important that we get the word out there.
Sal's bringing his A game.
A, B, and C, motherfucker.
That's what.
There you go. That was very nice.
Sal's straight out of Compton.
And yet she's still staring at the computer.
Oh yeah, and you guys, if you. It's hard to do because we're stopping and starting, but the clip itself is about 25 minutes, and the last 5 minutes is just commentary from the back office at the end, as Howard TV would do. If you for a fun game, I don't know, have a capful of whiskey every time she looks down at the screen from moving up, you'll be fucked up in no time.
I'll play that game on Sunday.
Fine, whenever this one airs, yeah, sure.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily know if I want their A, B, and C.
Well, if I was you, I wouldn't even have them anywhere near the
Yeah,
event.
that's what I'm thinking.
I don't know what you're thinking with that one. Don't go
Again,
there.
I told you, I thought they were human, and now I see I was wrong.
Well, whoa. They're going, and they're going with a good attitude. Why are you, seriously, why are you?
I don't want Richard sitting there sloshed and barfing on people.
I didn't hear him say anything about being drunk.
I thought that's what he was talking. What's Richard's A game? To wear
Man Moses, that's his A game. Getting
a
fucked
diaper,
up.
drink a lot of beer, and pee on himself.
Well, you invite him, and he's going to give you his A game. That's what people want.
A stands for asshole.
Right. He's going to asshole it up.
Oh, boy.
But that's fun. Anyway, you're bringing your A game, right?
That's right.
Definitely.
I'm gonna get shit faced, but
Wait, don't you get shit faced?
It's for a good cause, though. That I'm getting shit faced. Yeah.
Oh, God, that accent is so great.
Well, first of all, Robin, you would expect them to get shit faced. That's why you invited them. That's their whole act, is getting shit faced.
Yeah, making a spectacle of themselves.
I'm actually helping Robin, I think, by saying that we're going to get drunk and rowdy and wild, because people are going to want to come and bid on our table and have fun with us.
Right. Yeah, well, I would imagine that's the idea.
Yeah.
Oh, shit, I got to turn my phone off.
I heard that too.
Richard, go turn my phone off.
Where is it?
That's all right. I'm just kidding with you. Well, it sounds like he's bringing his A game, Robin.
Wonderful.
Do you not want him to come?
No.
You don't? No. You're taking back your offer?
I don't want to be bothered.
I would have given a fist pump at that point.
I'd be like, sweet. See, I'll go get drunk with Sal on my own. Bye.
Yeah, or just have a good night's sleep because I work the next day. Fucking bitch.
Yes.
Yeah, like the rest of the fucking rank and file. Well, we're not carted into the Sirius building on a fucking mattress lifted by 6 MMA guys.
Imagine how hungover they're going to be on Thursday. Now they're going to be fine. Good.
You're gonna pour Sal into the building, for fuck's sake.
Oh God.
Well, isn't this a comedy show? Isn't it about having fun?
The comedy's supposed to be on the stage.
Yeah, but why do they serve drinks at a comedy show? So you can get shit faced and laugh and have a good time.
I don't think they serve drinks for people to get shit faced.
Well, why else would you drink?
Oh.
Really?
I drink. I don't get shit faced.
Well, you're missing out. It's a lot of fun.
All right. Anyway, whatever you guys decide to do. All right.
So are we invited or not?
I'm so wanting to get Robin shit-faced one night, just ask her questions as a random bystander about the show.
I mean, she got shit-faced with what's-her-face, and now I'm trying to blank on the names.
Brendan and Mary. Oh, sorry. For fuck's sake.
Mary Beth? No, it's
no. the one he fucked, the one he stooped.
Brendan Murphy and Marianne.
No, Marianne. You're thinking Marianne from Brooklyn.
No. Fuck it. Who cares?
Anne Marie.
I know. Anne Marie. Thank you.
Yeah. Marianne.
Sorry. Why are you telling me? It's early.
I don't know. Talk to Robin after the show.
I'm scared to talk to Robin off the air.
That's ridiculous, Richard. What have I ever done to you?
Nothing, but you're just so kind of regal and proper. It makes me uncomfortable.
You mean like the Duchess of York?
Yeah.
Oh.
It's
well,
like
don't worry, she's a swindler or something.
Right.
It's like I feel when, like one time we recorded something with Donald Trump, and I just felt very intimidated, and that's kind of how I feel talking to Robin.
Yeah, because she can get me fired in a moment. Like she really wants to.
He's on the stage.
Yeah, of course.
So we're talking about horror movies, but about this stuff, I feel a little nervous talking to her.
All right. Well, thank you.
Thank you.
All right. There he is, Richard, of Richard and Sal. It's questionable whether they will be at the big charity event. What are you going to do? You're going to pull the plug on those two?
They don't want to be involved, so they don't have to be involved.
Why do you say that? All I hear is that they do want to be involved.
It's sort of, there's a passive-aggressive thing going on here.
Well,
no,
you
the
don't know anything
passive-aggressive
about
is
that.
with you. With you, Robin. Look in
Yeah.
the mirror.
Instead of that monitor.
Sal, are you being passive-aggressive?
No, I just want to warn Robin, if Richard doesn't go, I don't go.
I'm not asking either one of you. I know you come as a package.
So you don't want either one of us there?
No.
Wow, that's insulting.
No, you guys really, you're giving me these mixed signals. You want to be there, you don't want to be there. You feel that I dragged you into this. I don't want to drag anybody into anything.
No, we're just hyping it up for you.
Okay.
Well, I got to...
Now, so Robin does the damage, right?
Yes.
Robin's the one who got caught telling them what they're supposed to do without asking them. And now she's the victim because they called her out on it. That is such narcissism.
Absolutely. Yeah, she's the wounded fawn getting startled in the forest. Yeah.
Oh, no. You
Yeah,
don't want me.
Yeah, I got to say, that clip does sound like they are saying, hey, we're going to go there and have a good time and have a good time at the table. Don't you agree?
You want us to play bingo?
And now Wiggy is John Hine. Like, he's totally... Yeah.
Nobody asked you to play bingo.
Yeah,
I wanted you to be, sometimes I've seen you be charming and funny.
That's all we're going to do. The Guatemalan kid with the flies was just a joke. I'm not really going to bring a ghost.
You're not going to bring a Guatemalan kid?
I went online last night. I couldn't get one shipped over in time.
I thought you were bringing your A game.
Yeah, but A game means you're bringing a Guatemalan.
Right. All right, I'll do it.
All right.
But Robin, we really want to have a good time. Please don't be insulted.
Okay, a little more, guys.
We really do.
All right.
We think it's a nice event.
I want to know where Robin saw you being charming and funny.
It's always been in private.
Oh.
He doesn't do that.
All right, from what I'm hearing,
others.
I'll speak for Robin. You and Richard are out of the event.
All right, nothing new. We're used to that.
All right, goodbye. That's it. You're out.
And now they're
You're out of the,
now they're high-fiving in the back room, just the back office, going like, "Thank God we don't have to be part of this piece of shit." Because just imagine.
And now even if they do go, she's going to treat them like wait staff, and
there's no winning. And keep in mind, guys, look, like they work there however long during the day. They can't even go home. They're probably working until 2, 3 in the afternoon, maybe longer. And then they got to kill time until this stupid event, whenever it is. And they're not going to get any kind of fucking sleep. And there's no point commuting home. They may as well just stay in the fucking studio and sleep there in the green room.
Well, because she wouldn't get them a hotel or anything
Fuck
to make their lives easier.
You kidding?
You're out at your table. Were you getting any bids on their table anyway?
I hadn't put it up for auction yet.
Wow. Well, there. I just fired those two from your table.
Thank you.
Anybody else you want out?
Oh, no, everybody's out. It's fine.
At rough count, guys, there's already 4 shots on the table.
Everybody's out.
Yeah.
Get out of here. Sound uncomfortable.
I am very uncomfortable. It was an uncomfortable wrap-up show yesterday. To hear people carrying on that way, it was just odd. So they don't have to be a part of anything.
The reason why it's odd because no one in your life dares tell you the truth, and no one dares tell you to your face you're being a manipulative, fucking overbearing, presumptuous twat. And if you'd heard it more often in your life, maybe you'd be a better person for it.
Right.
So, like, it's this sound. This is sound like someone who never gets questioned, never gets confronted, never gets, notified that their behavior is completely unacceptable.
No, she never gets called out. So now it's uncomfortable for her to be told the truth. Well, welcome to everybody else's life besides yours.
And Wiggy's enjoying this from start to finish.
Oh, he's playing both sides of the fence
this is
and
not
doing
going
it
well.
really well.
Yep.
Well, I feel the event will be a success.
Well, I'll work as hard as I can to make it a success. That's what, that's my job.
Right. Well, you've got your work cut out for you, but I think
there's just burning a hole through that note through that fucking monitor. Jesus Christ.
What is she doing?
I don't know if it's a monitor or notes in front of the monitor. Because she's not, I don't know, I don't see her clicking away at anything. I don't see her, it's always the same spot.
I don't see her. I see it just more like it doesn't matter if it's a note or the computer. She's just avoiding gaze. Gaze.
That is the whole point. Yeah, absolutely. There may not be anything. It's probably a screensaver. It's probably that one that Brendan always puts in the mockery thread of the old Windows 3.1, like a prism changing shape and color. That's exactly what's on hers.
You will prevail. What do you think of that? My money's on you.
I just do what I do. People can, do whatever they do.
Wow.
When they do an event, they can choose whatever they want to be about it, or, they can just sit on their laurels and comment on what other people do.
Well, it sounds like...
Fuck you. Jesus
Their laurels.
Christ. Yeah.
That wrap-up show did it again. Well... I didn't hear the wrap-up show yesterday, actually, Robin.
His nose is getting bigger.
Yeah. It's going to be a bird and a nest on it pretty soon.
Yeah.
I just heard, that people were like, are you going to come down and defend yourself? I was like, what do I need to defend myself for?
Oh, the way she says things, defend myself for.
Yeah.
What?
I should go there and fight with them about a charity event. And what my motivations for doing it are. That's ridiculous.
And that whole flippant way, that look away, give your thing, look away. Give your point, give your non-point, look away. Why not just look at them? If you feel really serious about it, if you feel, I don't know, virtuous enough, or you feel that its cause is noble, make direct eye contact. It weakens your point. It weakens anything you have to say to look away. One of the things I learned ages ago.
You don't care enough to defend it. You don't care enough to defend it. And looking away, by the way, is a classic trait of being dishonest.
Absolutely.
Right. Well, you would think the charity event would have been causing happiness, but it seems to only be causing pain.
Well, that's what happens in this bizarro world.
Oh, yes. This is the bizarro world. Who specifically got under your skin?
I think mostly Jason.
Jason?
Yeah.
Of Jason and Will?
That'll wake you up in the morning, boy.
With the way. Forget it.
Janice, your dreamboat is docked.
You know what's so weird is Alec Baldwin now looks like that.
Well, Alec Baldwin, I mean, he's in his 60s now, I guess, according to whatever, 62, 63 years old, according to current reports, depending what newspaper you read. But Jesus, I can't even.
When you're pregnant, you have this thing. It's called there's like a line that goes down your belly at some point. A lot of pregnant people get it. And it's like a shade color, like it's a darkening line down your belly. I think it's called line something. No, I forgot the name, but it looks exactly like that, but that's hair.
This looks like they took out his entire digestive system, stitched him up, and there's a huge black scar. Oh my Lord. It's like George, but Oh, God. George the Animal Steel.
Well, they're not a team.
We're not a couple anymore.
I feel like they're a team and Sal and Richard are a team. I don't know why.
Well, Will would like to be separated from the team, and I can understand why.
Anything you want to address to Jason or no?
No. He can have his feelings about whatever. That's his business.
All right.
Now, this is how uncomfortable she gets anytime there's when she's pissed off and wants to keep it in. You can see it bubbling the whole time, and she just doesn't want to come off as yelling or whatever. But she's barely keeping it in. Now, if this had been 15 years earlier, she would have walked out, and she will walk out at one point during this, but not this particular episode, I don't think.
The teapot is boiling.
Completely.
Well. Looks like there's going to be some uncomfortable feelings around here. That's my take.
Well, apparently everybody's uncomfortable with me. Now I know it. That's all that's happened.
They hate me. God, I'm a loathsome piece of shit. When you laugh, it seems to trail off.
Let me go look at that monitor. Wouldn't it be funny if it was just like a blank screen looking back at her? Just black.
It's not even plugged in.
Seems to be some fear about you, right?
Apparently, yeah. I'm like a scary person.
What is she looking
at? Matrix screen.
Does this mean, and this is a tough decision for you to make now, but does this mean Jason is out of Girls' Night Out? Is he out? Be honest. You don't want him there anymore.
Well, since Girls' Night Out has been inactive, he can still be in it.
And is Jason part of the new charity event?
I had asked Jason.
Waxing for Jason? Is that the new event?
Like 40-year-old virgin.
Yeah.
For a couple of phone numbers, but maybe I should go to someone else.
So you're cutting him out completely of the.
I don't want to bother him.
Right. So he will not be asked to do any charity.
The last time she used that word in this context in the studio, when he started talking about robiniswrong.com, and he goes, I'm going to bring this guy in for you to debate. She goes, it doesn't matter. I don't even want to bother. And she says it in such a way that she's doing her best to keep herself in check from blowing up, because if you blow up, they have that footage forever. And she knows that.
Her hottie is at a 30 right now.
It's level red.
Oh my God. It's so bad. It's so bad. I don't want to be bothered.
Yeah.
The work per se.
No.
All right. There you go. Oh. There's a lot of changes coming down the pike. Jason's suddenly on the outs. Sal and Richard.
He's not on any outs.
Oh, yes, he is.
No, I'm just not going to bother him. He says,
right.
Somebody came in and took over the office. Strange person bothered him. So I don't want to bother him.
So is it fair to say?
Oh, you fucking asshole. Jesus
But you
Christ.
did. But you did. So you did bother everyone in the office, and now you're being called out on it. And suddenly, you don't want to bother him. It's such bullshit.
Right, because it's their fault. She's not going to apologize for bringing a complete stranger in to fucking eat up some time there, or because she tasked people to do work that they weren't supposed to, and she's getting chastised for it. No, it's your fault because you're bad people. You're evil, not me, for for fucking cracking the whip here.
Yeah.
Oh my Lord.
That Richard and Sal are out of the charity event. Jason will not even be asked to help out with the charity event. I'm wondering where John Hein and Gary stand at this point. That's the big question.
Again, I don't, I will leave them all alone.
Well, all right.
Are you mad at all of us?
She's not
I'm
mad.
not mad at
She's
anyone.
leaving you all alone.
That was convincing.
I'm not mad, as I've just burned a hole through my computer screen staring at it.
And my coffee is colder than, I don't know, a gravedigger's dick.
I mean, somebody called the show yesterday and said that Robin's filling a void, and I went out of my way to say that that's bullshit and you're crazy. I mean, I don't want to be lumped in with those other guys.
Well, you are.
Total. Just don't stick it in too far, Robin.
Too late. I took care of that.
I guilty by virtue of being host of the show?
Yes. Am I right, Robin?
I'm not. I just don't want to bother anybody.
These are the key words. Again, bother, and like, I don't know. What's another key word, Key Robinism.
I don't know, but she just doesn't want to. She will gladly lump Gary in with this, even though he is host of the show. She won't let him off the hook and just say, no, I'm not mad at you because you host the show. She can't even bring herself to do that.
No way.
She has to have these vague, blanketed, passive-aggressive hatred towards everyone.
And he must pay.
I mean, it's a very slippery slope you go on here if you get involved with anyone.
Robin, I never said that I was bothered. I mean, other people did, but I never said I was bothered at all. In fact, I said that you've done a lot for me, and I feel I'd like to do some stuff back for you. I don't want to be lumped in with those guys.
What about that, Rob?
Why does he always have to? And this is one thing I never understood. It's serious. They got all this money for the studio, and he still sounds like a Jersey rail conductor with that fucking mic that looks like it was salvaged from the Titanic.
I know. I know. Look at that office.
Remember when Carson with the mic would come down? He'd go, "Attention, Kmart shoppers! Sale in aisle 7." that bit. Anytime something was going awful. Yeah, and that's exactly what this looks like.
Robin, what about what Gary's saying? Is he getting lumped in with this crew?
Well, he said that, he agreed with Jason that I jumped from charity to charity. Jason has an idea about how I should be charitable. And Gary said, well, you might be right about that.
I said, I think that sometimes it's confusing which charity you're with because you've done a lot of events in a short period of time. That's not trashing you. I'm saying it now. Say it to your face. I think that
you said it yesterday. It's fine. So leave it alone.
Are you really that confused?
Leave it alone. Don't get me angry at me. Fucking don't get me angry, monkey. You wouldn't like me when I'm angry.
Yeah, you're lumped in, so fucking deal with it. I don't care that you differentiated yourself. Fuck you.
I don't want to bother.
By how many charity events she's done?
Well, I'm not sure which is the most important one, which is the main one.
They're all important. I get that. Am I right, Robin?
Look, I don't even want to have this discussion.
All right.
You can be lumped in too. I don't want to talk about it.
Oh, believe me, I'm happy to be lumped in with anybody. I'm happy to be part of a group.
Good, you made it.
Thank you.
And this is the other thing. She knows that he's the orchestrator of all this shit. She knows that whatever they're saying, it doesn't come out unless he wants that to come out.
So she is correct in lumping him in.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. But he's going to get away scot-free, more or less.
Well, I don't know. A lot of activity around here.
A lot of dead air, too.
I'm proud of you, Charity.
No.
I hope you raise a lot of money. But
just not my money.
I don't know. Some bad vibes around here. Like I said, I didn't hear all this. Speaking of bad vibes, too, Stamos had bad vibes, too, from the show.
I can understand it now.
Oh, wah. Nobody wants to do my charity. Wah.
No, you
can't.
can't.
Why is John Stamos so
Why can't I?
It's just in the genes. It's all in the genes.
I'm feeling bad vibes from the show.
Well, listen.
I'm joining a group. His. You're all a bunch of vipers.
Well, you can't say that.
I can't?
No.
I just did.
Well, that's mean.
Boo-hoo.
To say that I'm a viper, I don't accept that. I mean, I might be a viper toward other people, not to you.
No, you're a viper to just about anybody and everybody. I've been cutting some clips recently, and I've determined, yeah.
There's a lot of people who feel I'm a viper.
Well, I just can see his point of view.
Well,
not necessarily about you, but maybe.
Well, it was directed at me. He directed it at me. I didn't think I was being viperous, though. I really don't. I was talking about the party, and I was, I said I had a great time. And I hung around with John the whole night.
Go figure.
Yeah, like I was a little puppy following him around.
That's right.
I mentioned the Don Rickles thing that he said we bummed out Don Rickles, and I said,
Here they come.
Here we go. What's up? Turn your
shocked.
You're shocked. You were tough.
I guess so. Usually I walk off the wrap-up show and I'm like, oh man, I shouldn't have said this, or I wish I didn't say that, but I didn't think I said anything off base. I was in support of Robin's charity.
Not really.
A little bit.
No, I heard a clip. I didn't think you were. I mean, you were.
Now, Jason, you're trying to weasel out your own thing. You did not say you were not positive in the slightest, dude.
There was not one breath of positivity coming out of that fucking hairy chest.
Get that fucking Lexapro shipped stat, man, because you're gonna need it for this one.
As bad as I thought.
I wasn't one of those guys saying she's trying to fill a void or she's doing this for some ulterior motive.
No, 6 years ago I got jealous of Howard, and this is all a result of that.
You said that.
No, you put this is all a result of that in there.
Well, I said, everyone was trying to go back to the genesis of it.
Remember, we were talking, I said, for a moment, I had this little pang of jealousy while I was seeing the 60 Minutes piece. And I don't even know what, Jason's...
I don't even know about that.
Even though that happened, and I probably stewed on it for weeks, I didn't even remember. I don't remember.
Yeah.
Holding on to this momentary thought, and now has it as not dragged it out, but it's the basis for what I do now.
People were trying to figure out why Robin was being more charitable, and I said,
and more charitable. You act as if I was not this way before that.
Yeah.
It is now like it's. She's Mount St. Helens right now.
She should have just kept staring at that monitor.
Oh, yeah.
Man. Oh, boy. It's
do you remember
because you want to know why she's so bothered? Because it's true. If it weren't true, she wouldn't be flipping the fuck out. She'd just be like, no, what are you talking about? That's a crazy theory.
Do you remember when we did the Robin on Sally Jesse, and the audience member gives her shit, the first one, and those evil eyes that she gives her, and we paused it? And you looked at her with her rolling her tongue in her mouth and going like that.
That's our heading for that episode. I think that's the one.
That was the thumbnail that you said I got to make it a Photoshop. And sure enough, this is the same look she's given him, but it's not direct, so it's not as obvious. But just wait.
You were not this way on the air before that.
What are you talking about? First of all, I was on the board of a charity, used to have a fundraiser every year, and I used to announce it on the air the same way I have now. There simply has been a different level of activity in the last few months because I started the 15 Foundation, and long before that, Scenarios asked me to do something for them, and the Girl Fund asked me to do something for them. What's the big deal?
Well, the big deal took up an hour on the wrap-up show.
You know what? I said I didn't want to get into this conversation. Goodbye, Jason.
Well, Jason,
I don't know what to say. I do. I think I
don't want to have this conversation.
She's a.
Whoa! Whoa! That's the thumbnail for this one.
If I could get a better copy, I'll see about that.
Set. Okay. I want to talk to you about it.
All right. Well, then I guess.
Then we're done.
I guess we got time. All right. Never mind.
Thank you, Jason.
And this is the interesting thing. You if you blink, you'll miss it. But he looks over to Howard first to see, like, am I done? You're the one that's going to tell me to leave. I got to wait for your cue. So he knows, like Stuttering John did, you're under the boss's protection until you're not.
Right. And
did I do my job? Did I do my job, boss? Can I go? Did I service you properly? He's like, yeah, thanks. You pretty much did.
Yep. Did you stir the sauce enough? Did you stir the pot enough? Okay, that's enough. Bye-bye.
Yeah, and are you, as a result, the victim of the aggression instead of me, which is the way I like it? Yes.
Yep, because she was about to get pissed at Howard. Notice that? She was about to get mad, lumping him in. He got bad vibes and was like, I gotta shift this anger.
Big time.
Class dismissed.
Wow. Good Lord. Well, sorry it's all come to this. There's a lot of good intentions here. But,
where?
Well, on your part. You're trying to raise money for charity.
You see, there's a lot of good intentions. I don't see it all around.
Hold it. I said there's a lot of good intentions. From you. Hello?
What?
Oh, my God. She's a fucking child.
Yes, she is.
You're bummed out.
I have to work with these people.
They have to work with you.
Yeah, I was thinking the line should be on the other hand, on the other foot.
Well, what can I say? Because what happens in the workplace?
Not to me. Usually I'm not involved with them, obviously. I don't know what they're like.
You don't know what they're like, but you task them to do this fucking work for you, you fucking idiot.
Yeah, they were great up until they actually said, we don't like how we're being treated.
Right. And then they're shit.
Yeah, they were always shit.
Yeah.
It's that wrap-up show, I'm telling you.
No, it's not. It's who they are. The wrap-up show only exposes that. It's nice to know who you're working with.
No. The wrap-up show exposes you. That's what you don't like.
Yes. This is a mirror being held up to her, and she doesn't like what she sees. Hence why she's also turning away. It's a great, it's a metaphor, really. And I imagine Howard, in much the same way, if he has to be confronted about anything. I mean, when the Howard TV staff had to leave, he wouldn't even confront. He wouldn't even show them his face. He was embarrassed to fucking be around them because he didn't have the sack to say, "Look, guys, we're going another direction. I'm sorry to leave it so late or whatever, but you're going, and thanks for all the help and whatever." But he had to, I think it was in the Serious Problem Reddit post where basically Doug Goodstein dragged him over to the guys leaving, saying, "You at a Christmas party or whatever, not a Christmas party, but some event or something." He said, "You got to face these people," and he was not willing to because he knew he was the asshole.
Right. These people who are coming in on the wrap-up show or now in studio are the mirrors, and she doesn't want to look at them.
No, and the callers, of course, too.
Well, I'll move on. I don't know what else to say. I was trying to get to the bottom of all this, if there were real negative feelings.
And now Howard, he doesn't want to face the mirror, so he's hiding in his basement because he knows the show shit. He knows everybody at work is uncomfortable and doesn't like the way the show's going. So instead of going back in studio, he'd rather just hide out in his basement for the rest of his career.
Yep, completely.
But
oh, you're wondering if they're real negative feelings?
I don't know. I think some of the guys try to perform on that wrap-up show. They try to.
He's now really uptight. That little him clearing his throat, that's similar to the Gary move.
Mm-hmm.
When you got your heart up in your throat and you're upset, you're worried because she's upset. And he hates confrontation just as much as she does.
And now it's just the two of them and Fred, who you won't see. It's just the two of them facing each other in this awkward, tangible frustration, and he's lumped in with it. So now he's like, shit, how am I going to divert this awfulness that I don't want to deal with?
And he orchestrated it, and he knows, and she knows. They all know that he's responsible for making this happen.
Make it interesting, but they kind of don't know how to finesse it. You know what I'm saying? I don't think anybody dislikes you or is against you.
I
think people generally around here like you a lot. I do. And I think, Jason behind the scenes does work very hard with you on a lot of these events and things, from what I hear, from what you guys tell me. But I think they get on the wrap-up show and they're trying to make something interesting happen, and they maybe put their foot in their mouth or step on somebody's toes.
She also knows that the way to fuck with him now is to not have anything to say, and that silence is deafening to him.
Oh yeah, and he is just scrambling for a reaction, and she's not giving it.
Right. Since you didn't fill the Artie chair, you have all that's your own fault as well, buddy.
I always wondered, why he didn't fill the chair, and it's because he doesn't want another mirror.
Yeah, he doesn't want somebody else in their bit of reality going in there to show him exactly how he's wrong, how he's pustada, how he's just out of touch completely.
What do you think of that?
I don't even care what happens. I just know what they said. Or the feeling I got from what they said.
Can they do anything to repair their relationship with you?
There's nothing wrong with our relationship.
Oh, bullshit.
No, really.
It sounds bad.
It'll be the same.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
No, it won't. I don't think it will.
Yeah, I'm just not going to look at you when I say that.
Or anybody else. Yeah.
I think
it'll be. Why would it be any different?
Because you have a nice relationship with Jason. I see you two palling around.
But why would it be any different? He's the same person before I heard the wrap-up show yesterday as he is today.
You're angry with him.
No, I'm not.
You're not?
No, I said I just don't want to have the conversation. They had their conversation. It's enough already.
It's over.
Yeah, it's enough when it's about you. You can go on for hours and hours when it's about somebody else, like when I already had an issue or whatever. You could make it last for fucking 10 hours, you fucking prick.
I know.
Want to talk about American Idol?
Didn't see it.
Okay, so that's about the end of that, guys. I think so. What we have left for you goes past the summer, goes into October marathon, November marathon, and finally the end of that year. And the March for the Bagels, which I believe the next episode will be the finale, and we've already got the Photoshop, so stay tuned for that one. Any closing thoughts on this one, Sam, before we wrap it up?
Wow, her reaction, I'll be drunk if I'm playing that game where she looks at the monitor, so I'm looking forward to that.
Okay, have a good one. Thank you guys for tuning in. We love you.
Bye.
You know what I mean? For a burrito?
Well, they had a problem.
I like that
they got a whole no, I knew it was
There's your burrito.
I knew it was
Go ahead, eat.
There it goes. I don't want it to get cold.
There
Thanks,
you go.
Rich.
Look who just got happy. Here's my burrito. Somebody's hungry.
That's exactly right.
It's feeding time.
Put something in his fucking mouth.